Hey guys, welcome back to another video on the channel. In this video, I'm going to be showing you guys some tech cards that makes your Floowandereeze deck super powered. So firstly, Floowandereeze is a pretty straightforward deck. A lot of people play Floowandereeze and pretty much every deck are pretty much the same thing. The only thing that is different is the ratio of the amount of cards that you use and what is in your side deck and what is in your main deck. Because the deck is so standard, you don't have many options of changing it. However, in this video, I'm going to be showing you guys some tech cards that you can use, which I don't see many persons using, and these cards are absolutely crazy. So the first card that we're going to be taking a look at is Gold Sarcophagus. Gold Sarcophagus is a very old card, but it works very well with the deck because it allows you to banish a monster, which is very good because it allows you to chain block, say for example, chain block Ash, and it allows you to go into your combos if you don't have the right pieces. So right now in my hand, I have Gold Sarcophagus, Toucan, and Stree. If you know anything about Floowandereeze, you know that Stree and Toucan can't really go into their combo plays without them having cards to support them. So I'm going to be showing you guys how Gold Sarcophagus makes these cards live, and then you can go into your full combo. So pretty much all I'm going to do is activate my Gold Sarcophagus, and I'm going to banish the card that we need. You can banish pretty much anything depending on the cards that are in your hand. So we're going to go ahead and banish our Rabina. Then we're going to go on normal summon our Stree. Stree is going to activate its effect. We're going to chain with the Rabina to add it back to our hand. So we're going to banish the Gold Sarcophagus. Rabina is going to add itself back to the hand. And then because we were able to banish the Gold Sarcophagus, we can go ahead and normal summon and then go into our full combo, which is Eaglin, M-Pen, and then our trap card. We didn't have to go that route. We could just banish something else than the Rabina. So if we were to activate Gold Sarcophagus, we would banish our M-Pen. Then we would go ahead normal summon our Toucan. Toucan's effect would activate. We would add back the M-Pen to our hand, and then we would normal summon the Stree, banish the card that is in our graveyard, which is Gold Sarcophagus, and allowing us to normal summon our M-Pen, which would allow us to activate M-Pen's effect, and then we would be able to add back one of these cards and chain block. So we would able to add our trap card, and then we wouldn't normal summon and we would set. I don't know if you guys saw that, but we were able to play around Ash the entire time that we did that combo because we didn't really search out anything until M-Pen. But when we used M-Pen, we were able to chain block with the Toucan. Another good card that we can use in the deck, which is pretty viable, is Jack in the Hand. Jack in the Hand works very well with the deck because we have a lot of level 1 monsters. So pretty much we would just activate Jack in the Hand, and then we would reveal 3 level 1 monster. One goes to our opponent's hand, one goes to our hand, and one goes back to the deck. So this is where you have to play different ratios of the monster, different ratios of either Stree or Toucan. Because normally we use one-on-one. If we were to activate Jack in the Hand and they take our 1 Toucan or 1 Stree, then that would definitely mess us up because we would be short 1 bird. So again, this is where you add another copy of one of the Stree or the Toucan. So you'd select Toucan, you'd select Rabina, and then you'd select Eaglin, and they would choose a card that they want. Now we don't know what they'd actually choose depending on the cards in your hand. And remember, if you activate Jack in the Hand in your first turn, you'll have 4 other cards. Your opponent won't know what you actually have, so they're just going to be randomly choosing a card that they feel might be disadvantageous to you. So again, it all depends on the cards in your hand and your opponent, and if they're experienced playing against the Floowandereeze. As you can see, the AI took the Eaglin, so I would just go into my Rabina, and then Rabina would go into my 1-card combo, Eaglin, M-Pen, and then the trap card. Again, this is all dependent on your opponent and the card that they select. So back in the day when Floowandereeze added the wind barrier statue, we could stop our opponents from special summoning monsters. However, it is banned, so we don't have that luxury. But we can do something like that, but it's not as consistent as back in the day. If you use Fossil Dyna will be able to stop your opponents from special summoning. However, the thing about it is that we can't really search Fossil Dyna. The only way that you can activate this is if you have the Fossil Dyna in your hand. So if you go into our normal combo, which is normal summon our Rabina, go into Eaglin, then Eaglin goes into our M-Pen. We would then go ahead and normal summon the M-Pen by attributing the 2 birds. We would then activate M-Pen as Chainlink 1, then Rabina as Chainlink 2 because we want to have that follow-up. We would leave Eaglin in the banish pile. We would add the trap card. We would normal summon off of the M-Pen to normal summon our Fossil Dyna, and then we would set our trap card face down. So this is pretty much the end board for our first turn, and again you would have more cards in your hand because we only use 2 out of 3, which is the Fossil Dyna and the Rabina. So pretty much you could have some other cards face down to protect your Fossil Dyna and your cards. How it works is pretty simple. If we go ahead and end our turn, our opponent cannot special summon, so they have to normal summon a monster. Whenever they normal summon, if it's a threat to our Fossil Dyna, we go and activate our trap card. So we didn't have to go for the trap card, we could have gone for the field spell instead. Because they had to normal summon because this card stops special summon, if they normal summoned and I had the field spell, I would trigger its effect to allow me to normal summon. So again, because of this guy, you could have gone with the field spell or the trap card, depending on your preference. So now that they normal summon, if this is a problem to my Fossil Dyna, I would go into my play by activating the trap card, normal summon my Rabina. Rabina would be chain link 1, and then I would chain my Eaglin to go back to hand. I would then add to my hand. I could pretty much do Toucan, and then I would normal summon my Eaglin. Eaglin's effect would activate. I would then go for either Rise Out to send the card back to hand, but because I have this trap card in my graveyard, I'm going to go for my Apex Avian, and that's an Omni Negate, which is pretty strong. So I'm going to go ahead and tribute the 2 small birds, summon my Apex Avian, then I would activate my trap card in the graveyard and also chain with my Rabina. So the trap card would book all of his monsters face down, and because he cannot special summon and he uses normal summon already, my Fossil Dino would be safe and they would pretty much have to end their turn because now I have Apex, I have my boss monster, and they can't special summon. They're pretty much locked. Unless they have a spell card or a trap card, 2 spell or trap card to destroy my cards, I'm pretty much in the advantageous position. So this is one of those spicy deck combinations that is pretty good, and I think it works very well with the Floowandereeze, but it needs a little bit more testing to be fine-tuned and see if it actually works. So this is the Dogmatica engine. We have 1 Dogmatica Ecclesia, 1 Dogmatica Punishment, 3 Nadir Servant, 3 Entis, and 3 Garura. The reason why we want to play 3 of these is because we play the pot card, which is Extravagance, Prosperity, which banishes our card from our extra deck, and we need these cards to get the full advantage of the other cards in our deck. How it works is pretty simple. You activate Nadir Servant. Nadir Servant searches out your Dogmatica Ecclesia, and then Ecclesia normal summons off of Empen, which allows you to set the punishment. This card allows you to send a monster, so you can set the Garura, which is going to give you an extra draw, or if you're going second, you can activate this card's effect to pop a card in your opponent's side of the field. So I'm going to be showing you guys a little combo with it, which is pretty solid, so let's get into it. So this is the combo with the Floowandereeze and the Dogmatica engine, so let's get into it. Firstly, we would go ahead and activate Nadir Servant, which would allow us to send a card from our extra deck to the graveyard. If we're going second, we could send the Entis to pop a card on our opponent's side of the field. If we're going first, we could go and send Garura, which is going to give us an extra card to draw. So we'd send the Garura and then add the Ecclesia to our hand, and then Garura's effect would activate to allow us to get a card, which is draw a card, which is pretty solid. Then we would go into our Floowandereeze play, which is normal summon Floowandereeze Rabina, going to Eaglin, activate Eaglin's effect to normal summon. Then we would activate to add the Empen. We would then go ahead and tribute the 2 small birds, normal summon. Then we would activate Empen as chain link 1 and then Rabina as chain link 2. Would leave Eaglin in the banish pile, would add the trap card. Then we would normal summon a monster, which would be our Ecclesia. Ecclesia would activate its effect to search out the punishment, and then we'd go ahead and set these cards face down. And because we don't special summon the Dogmatica, the Nadir Servant, none of these cards will affect us because we don't special summon. So we just go ahead and end our turn. And that is a pretty solid combo right there. So we have the punishment. If our opponent summons a monster, we could simply send the punishment to pop it, and then we would send either the Entis or we would go for the Garura again. I'm gonna go for Garura because they only have 1 card. Activate Garura's effect to draw a card. So it's a pretty cool combo. It's a pretty cool combination of cards. It works somewhat depending on the cards that you get in your hand, but because you play 3 Nadir Servant, it's more likely that you'll get that card go into your Dogmatica engine. So maybe you want to test this out in your Floowandereeze. Again, it works. So yeah. So that is it for the video. Hopefully this video was entertaining or informative in some way. If it was, please leave a like on the video and consider subscribing to the channel for future videos. My name is Richie, and I'll see you in the next one.